Folks, this is big. Wagner mercenary chief Prigozhin dies in a Russian plane crash. Folks, I don't think this was an accident. I think this was calculated by a man who seems to have a plan, and it seems as though he's got the keys.
Well, details are coming in very thick and fast here. We have to really pick out what's coming in from official sources. What we know so far is that a plane has crashed. It was an Embraer 600 private jet that was coming in from St. Petersburg to Moscow. It's crashed in the Tverskaya region. Witnesses report hearing at least one explosion before the crash. Reports in the Russian media, unconfirmed so far officially, are saying this aircraft could have been taken down by air defense systems in the Tverskaya region. Now, from the videos we're seeing on social media, there does appear to be witnesses that have filmed this crash, that have filmed the plane coming down, some sort of trail of smoke coming from the plane as it crashes to the ground and is burning on the ground. We understand emergency services say around 14 people are dead in this crash. There are no survivors, but more importantly, Rosaviatsia, which is the Russian aviation authority, has said that Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner PMC, Wagner private military company, was among those on board, or was at least listed as among those people on board. That is being confirmed, or rather written about, by multiple Russian media accounts as we speak. There is other information coming in as well that a second plane, also allegedly belonging to Yevgeny Prigozhin, has turned around and is heading back to St. Petersburg. Now, we don't know who's on board that plane, if that information is confirmed, but that plane has come down, and the Russian Aviation Authority is saying officially that Yevgeny Prigozhin was listed among those 14 passengers on board.
Quite significant if this is the case, that Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Russian mercenary group, the Wagner Group, was on board this private plane.
Now, if you go to WSJ.com, it says here that Wagner mercenary chief Prigozhin dies in a Russian plane crash. It says also that shortly after 6 p.m. Moscow time on Wednesday, an Embraer jet carrying Wagner paramilitary group owner Yevgeny Prigozhin, who led a short-lived June uprising that challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin's authority, abruptly disappeared from flight from the tracking radar. Folks, this is not an accident.
Unable, of course, to independently verify, as this has happened literally minutes ago,
right.
Do show this plane coming down with a trail, some sort of trail next to it in the sky.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, Daniel, just stay with us. Just to remind our viewers of this breaking news out of Russia. Russian emergency services saying that at least 14 people have been killed in a plane crash between Moscow, the Russian capital, and St. Petersburg. Our correspondent, Daniel, telling us that this was a private plane, and some Russian news agencies now saying that Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Russian Wagner mercenary group, was reportedly on board this plane, unconfirmed, as Daniel was saying. Just remind our viewers, Daniel, of who Yevgeny Prigozhin is and the bad blood between him and the Kremlin recently.
Now, if you go to Matthew 24:7, Mark 13:8, also Luke 21:11, and Revelation 6, last day prophecy, it says that there would be nation against nation. And you know that Ukraine and Russia, these are all relatives. And Prigozhin, look, he's one of their own.
Well, anybody following the news out of Russia over the last 3 months would know Prigozhin has hardly been out of the media spotlight during this time. Yevgeny Prigozhin was once a very close Putin ally. He was known as Putin's chef because the catering company he owned reportedly provided catering services for the Kremlin. He built his business in catering and various other business ventures, but he's primarily known, of course, for founding PMC Wagner, Russia's private military company, which for many years was working in the shadows, with officials denying any knowledge of its existence, any official confirmation. That private military company came to the limelight, particularly during the conflict in Ukraine.
I don't know what Prigozhin was thinking when he tried to go against Putin. The scriptures say, don't boast before a king. Why? because he will find you out. And it looks like Prigozhin was found out.
Relationship, as you say, turned to bad blood in June when Yevgeny Prigozhin, responding to allegations of a strike against his fighters, the camps belonging to his fighters, led a mutiny onto Moscow, capturing an army building in Rostov, and very quickly taking over that army HQ and moving onto Moscow before very suddenly, after negotiations involving the Belarusian president, Lukashenko, standing down.